Today marks 20 years since the Boxing Day tsunami, which swept across the Indian Ocean and caused death and destruction on an immense scale. For those who were there, the memories will never fade, but some have found healing and hope in the aftermath.
December 26, 2004 is a day Liz Hills will never forget.
We didn't really realise something wasn't right until we had come up to the boat and we were de-gearing our dive gear and we saw a change in the ocean. But before that, the reason my dad and I made it back to the boat is we went down to the dive site and there were no fish.
A massive tsunami swept across the Indian Ocean, triggered by a 9.1 magnitude undersea earthquake. It brought a series of destructive waves that toppled buildings, moved ships and wiped away entire communities. More than 220,000 people died. The death toll stretched across Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, the Maldives and Thailand.
A wave like this, in some places it went 2 kilometres inland, and I think the most analogous image you can think of is that image of Hiroshima, where you see everything flattened and you just see these sort of isolated buildings sticking up. It's a little bit like that, just with palm trees, and you see all these families just sifting through the rubble, trying to find loved ones, valuables, shocked, stunned.
Liz Hills was diving near Phuket with her father when it hit.
What happened at the next moment was that the ocean then looked like it was boiling. Then the boat started to be dragged under the water, and one of the crewmen with a good head on his shoulders cut the anchor and we headed out to deep water.
They headed back to shore to a changed world.
Devastation. It was horrific. It was very sad.
It was one of the largest natural disasters in recorded history. And while the memory of the event lives on, the threat of another remains present.
Generally, we'll have a magnitude 9 on average, I think, every 50 to 100 years somewhere in the world. So, and really the Pacific plate and the surrounding plates around there is more likely where it's going to happen because of the type of faults and the way that the plates are structured. So I suspect that we will see one again in our lifetimes.
In the years since, communities have rebuilt. Tourists have returned. Survivors have found hope and healing.
It was just remarkable for the amount of generosity that poured out for it. So that stays with me too. And Australians were probably the most generous.
Coming out of the back of the tsunami really showed me that I was supposed to be here.
Rhiannon Elston, Sky News Weather.